It's a video solution to an NCERT exercise question. Class 10, exercise 4.3. It's from the chapter Quadratic Equations. The question that we are solving is question number 9 of this exercise. It's a very important question. Questions of this kind, where you frame equations for taps filling a tank, has been tested quite often in the board examination. The way you frame this equation is a little different from how you would typically frame any other equation. So let's understand it very clearly with this question and get conversant with it because it's tested in quite a few board examinations. Two water taps together can fill a tank in 9 and 3/8 hours. The tap of larger diameter takes 10 hours less than the smaller one to fill the tank. We have a larger diameter one and a smaller diameter one. Larger diameter one obviously fills the tank faster. It takes 10 hours lesser than the smaller diameter one. What we need to find out is the time in which each tap can separately fill the tank. How long will the larger tap alone take? How long will the smaller tap alone take? We're going to assign one variable, only one variable. We're going to assign a variable for the time taken by the larger tap, the tap of larger diameter to fill the tank. Let's say let that be T hours. The smaller dimension one is going to take 10 more hours because the question says larger diameter one takes 10 hours lesser than the smaller one. So smaller one is going to take 10 hours more than the larger one. Larger one, we have assigned it to take T hours. So smaller one is going to take 10 more than this, which is T plus 10 hours. Now, let's understand one concept which is very crucial in framing these equations. Let's say the larger diameter one fills the tank in 2 hours. I'm just taking a number for example. So what fraction of the tank will it fill in 1 hour? If it takes 2 hours to fill the tank, it's going to fill half the tank in 1 hour. In 1 hour, it's going to fill half the tank. Let's say if it fills the tank in 10 hours, what fraction of the tank will it fill? It's going to fill 1/10 of the tank in 1 hour. This is the idea behind framing these equations. We said the larger tap fills the tank in T hours. So in 1 hour, what fraction of the tank will it fill? It's going to fill 1/T of the tank in 1 hour. The tap of the smaller dimension takes T plus 10 hours to fill the tank. If it takes T plus 10 hours to fill the tank, in 1 hour, what fraction of the tank will it fill? It's going to fill 1/T plus 10th of the tank. They fill together, 1/T of the tank gets filled by the larger pipe. 1/T plus 10 will be filled by the smaller tap. So together they will fill 1/T plus 1/T plus 10th of the tank in 1 hour. This is how equations related to work time and equations related to pipes or taps filling a tank are framed. So you always frame the equation as 1 by the time taken or what fraction of the tank is getting filled by each of these taps. That's the way these equations are framed. Let's move on and look at the first statement given to us. It says these two water taps together can fill a tank in 9 3/8 hours. Let's write it in an improper fraction form. 8 9s are 72 plus 3, 75/8 hours. Recall what we did in the last slide. We said that if the larger tap can fill it in 2 hours, in 1 hour it can fill half the tank, 1 by the time. If it can fill it in 10 hours, in 1 hour it will fill it 1/10th of the tank. Together these two taps can fill the entire tank in 75/8 hours. So in 1 hour, these two taps together will fill 1/75/8 of the tank. 1/75/8 of the tank is nothing but 8/75th of the tank. Together these two taps fill 8/75th of the tank in 1 hour. We know that in 1 hour, the larger tap fills 1/T of the tank. The smaller tap fills 1/T plus 10th of the tank. Together, we said they'll be filling 1/T plus 1/T plus 10th of the tank. Together, we realize that they have filled 8/75th of the tank. Equating these two, we get an equation which is 1/T plus 1/T plus 10 equals 8/75. This is the equation that we're going to solve to get the answer for the value of T. Quickly, let's summarize up till this point in a printed form. Together, they fill the tank in 75/8 hours. So in 1 hour, they'll fill 1/75/8 of the tank, which is nothing but 8/75th of the tank. Let's call this as equation 2. From the previous slide, we know equation 1 is 1/T plus 1/T plus 10. We can equate 1 and 2. This is equal to 8/75. Let's take it to the next slide. We're going to be multiplying both sides of this equation that we left in the last slide with a T into T plus 10. We can do that because T cannot be a 0. t cannot be a minus 10 because time cannot be negative, and if time is 0, then it's not going to take any time at all to fill it, but it takes some time. So t cannot be 0, t cannot be minus 10. If we're multiplying both sides by t into t plus 10, let's pick this term and multiply it first with t into t plus 10. T into t plus 10 by t gets cancelled with t to leave us with a t plus 10. If we multiply it with this term, t into t plus 10 by t plus 10, t plus 10 will get cancelled with t plus 10 to leave us with a t. On the right hand side, we're going to be left with 8 by 75 into t plus 10. T and t will leave us with 2t plus a 10. Let's cross multiply the 75 to the left hand side numerator. So you'll have 75 into 2t plus 10 equals 8 into t, which is 8t square, plus 8 into t into 10, which is equal to 80t. Expand the term on the left hand side, we'll get 150t plus 750. This equals 8t square plus 80t. Let's take all terms to one side. So we'll have 8t square. 80t minus 150t will leave us with minus 70t. Plus 750 when it comes to the other side is going to become minus 750. This equals 0. This is a quadratic equation we're going to be solving. If it is factorizable, let's factorize and find the answer. If we cannot factorize it, let's use the quadratic formula to get the answer. Before that, all these terms are divisible by 2. So let's divide it by 2 to make the factorization, if possible, an easy one. 4t square minus 35t minus 375 equals 0. Product of the first and the last term is equal to minus 1500. Let's focus on the 1500, the magnitude alone right now. We need to get a sum of 35. Let's quickly write down the ways in which 1500 can be broken down into two parts. You can write it as probably a 15 into 100. I'm not even going to go for 1 into 1500 because the sum or difference is not going to be a 35. It's going to be a huge number. So let's go with this. Even with the 15 into 100, we realize the sum is equal to 115. The difference is 85, whereas we need it to be equal to a 35. Because the product is negative, one of these numbers will be positive, one will be negative. So we're going to find out the difference. So we don't even have to bother about the sum. 15 and 100 did not work. One other possibility, let's take it, 20 into 75 is also equal to 1500. Here the difference is only a 55. We want it to be a 35. So that's also not going to work. What else can be there? Will this number 1500 is divisible by 25? Yes, certainly. 25 into 60 is a 1500. 60 minus 25 is equal to 35. So this is going to work. So it's going to factorize as 4t square minus 60t because we want the answer to be a negative plus 25t minus 375. This equals 0. Let's take 4t common from the first two terms. 4t into t minus 15. Let's take a 25 common from the third and the fourth term. 25 into t minus 15. This equals 0. Take t minus 15 common between these two terms. T minus 15 into 4t plus 25 equals 0. If t minus 15 equals 0, the value of t will be equal to 15. If 4t plus 25 equals 0, we'll have 4t to be equal to 25, minus 25, I'm sorry. Therefore, t will be equal to minus 25 by 4. What is t? T is the time taken by the larger tab. Time taken by the larger tab cannot be a negative number. So, t equals 15 is the answer. This is the time taken by the larger tab to fill the tank. The smaller tab takes t plus 10 hours. So, t plus 10 is equal to 25 hours. How long do these two pipes take? The larger one 15 hours, smaller one 25 hours. Quickly summarize this bit of the calculation and factorization in a printed form. Multiplying both sides by t into t plus 10. So this term is going to be a t plus 10. The right hand side term, the second term is going to be a t. The right hand side term is going to be this entire thing. Expand this, we'll get 2t plus 10 and 8 by 75 into t square plus 10. Cross multiply, solve for it, we'll get a quadratic equation 8t square minus 70t minus 750 equals 0. Divide both sides of the equation by 2. So we'll get 4t square minus 35t minus 375. Product is minus 1500. We realized we can break it as minus 65 and plus 25. So it factorizes as minus 60t plus 25t to leave us with answers of t to be equal to minus 25 by 4 and 15. T cannot be negative, so t equals 15. The smaller tab takes 10 more hours, so it takes 25 hours.
Supercharge your math quotient. Sign up today for online CBSE math classes at online.maxtute.com. I'll repeat it, it's online.maxtute.com. And before you leave, check out the related videos and remember to subscribe to this channel.